Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It is one of those again. It is a tier list. And why am I bringing you a tier list and not a Case 4, not Rainbow Six, not Warzone, not Black Ops 6, not Sparking Zero? It is because I was playing Sparking Zero. And guys, let me be honest. I hate Sparking Zero, but I love Sparking Zero at the same time. It is a love-hate relationship. And I was playing Vegito base and then Gogeta base. And I'm like, man, oh man, these are some powerful warriors. And then I thought to myself, they are so underutilized in the manga, in the anime. Those base forms are probably the strongest characters in the universes, but they still rely on transformations. So I was like, you know what? There are so many fusions out there. Let me rank them all because there are a lot of ones who are strictly underrated, and there are some who are overrated. So we will go through all the fusions. It goes from the fusion of gods, Kibito Kai. It will go from Majin Buu, because Majin Buu, technically not a fusion, but I consider it a fusion for this tier list. Why? Because it's absorption. And then you say, hey, why is Cell not on the list? I don't know, guys. There's no logic behind it. He just feels right to put Buu as a fusion character and not Cell. That's why. So, we're gonna go through all these fusions, anime and manga, and even Budokai actually, and rank them from S, A, B, C, D. So don't know, let's go. First one, Gogeta base, the fusion dance of Goku and Vegeta. And he is just nasty. He has the aura, he has the lines, the attitude, the strength, everything combined to make the perfect, cocky, undefeated warrior. It is, out of all this list, the only undefeated fusion, and that is the fusion of Gogeta. And the difference is Gogeta has 30 minutes to get the job done. So because of this, Gogeta base, we don't see much of him. When we see him, it is in Dragon Ball Super against Broly, and his base form, he's mostly running, but he's putting the jukes on Broly, and then he doesn't mess around and transform to Super Saiyan. But because we don't see much of his fighting, I'm gonna have to put him at A tier. Next, Fat Gotenks from Superhero. So as you may know, in Superhero, Gotenks played actually a quite important role. He was Trunks and Goten finally fused. We thought, oh, we're finally gonna see the potential of these kids utilized to what they need to be used for. But no, we see Gotenks becoming fat and they mess up the fusions. But actually, he ends up being a crucial part of the fight, helping Gohan become Beast because he was getting beat up and Gohan couldn't take it anymore. But at the end, Fat Buu goes with his big butt and smashes Cell Max with the help of Beast Gohan. So, because of his prowesses, he needs to be up there. But because we didn't get to see the real Gotenks, the real evolution Gotenks, we got to see the fat one, he has to go to B tier. He gave us Gohan's prophecy. He gave us Beast Gohan. He gave us the destruction of Cell Max. But as a person, that's where it stops. So I have to put him at a mid tier, B tier. And then we get Skinny Gotenks. Skinny Gotenks from the Z Saga. From the Z arc and the Buu Saga. This is Anorexic Gotenks, which doesn't do much. He got the boys messed up the fusion, so we got Anorexic Gotenks, who arguably, because if he's all bones, is even more useless than Fat Gotenks. Not much to say about him. This guy is ugly, and he needs water, and he needs some spaghetti. So put this guy into D tier. And then we get Gogeta Super Saiyan Blue. Is there a character that embodies power, arrogance, strength, skill sets, and moves more than Gogeta Super Saiyan Blue, there's a reason when you play Dragon Ball Sparking Zero and you go from Gogeta Super Saiyan or Gogeta Base straight to Blue, he says, I am the strongest, because he is the strongest. He has a sick move. The move he did against Broly when you attacked him, rushed him, threw him up in the air, and then blew him up, and then said, enough of this. I'm sorry, Broly, but I'm gonna finish you. And he went for the Kamehameha. It was a thing of beauty. He didn't mess around one bit. He wanted to finish the job, and Goku and Vegeta's personality mixed together with the power of a god gives you an S-tier fusion. Next, we got Goku plus Hercule's Potara fusion, which should give us Goku kills Hercule. Let's call him Hercule. So Hercule was a desperate imagination attempt by Goku when he was fighting. So it was Super Buu with Gotenks absorbed. So he was fighting Buutenks, and he said, I need to fuse with someone. And then he didn't know, he couldn't find who to fuse for. And he said, what if I fuse with Hercules? Maybe with Hercules I'm gonna be able to fuse with him. He knows some martial arts. But this motherfucker is ugly, man, guys. Imagine if we had a fusion of Goku and Hercules. I know fusions are a multiplier, but sometimes when you take 5 times 0.5, it actually decreases your power level. So because of this, I'm gonna put Hercule D tier. Ugly motherfucker. Next one. I actually didn't get to see a lot of him, but I think this is the Dragon Ball Super Heroes promotional show they did, and we see this version of Gotenks, which is like a grown-up version, and I don't know too much about him. He looks sick here, and I'm all for finally using Gotenks and finally seeing more of him. I don't know if he gets beat up or not, but Gotenks is one of the most underutilized characters with the most amount of potential. But because of this, because he looks sick, but I don't know too much about him, A tier. And then we have base Gotenks. Guys, I gotta tell you, Gotenks is one of my favorite characters. I love the arrogance. I love the ignorance and the youth. Because yes, he might be ignorant. Yes, he must not have experience. Yes, he is powerful. And yes, he is arrogant and a bit of a prick. Some people find this annoying, but I love it. And I'm not gonna hear it for that Gotenks is not a good fusion character. He is the best fusion character in my opinion. One of my favorite characters. I love the arrogance. He has so much potential. In a couple minutes, he was able to get Super Saiyan 3, be stronger than Goku, be stronger than Super Buu. If it wasn't for him trying to put on a show, because yes, he has his flaws, he would have destroyed Super Buu, and we would have had Gotenks as the strongest fighter in the universe. And Gotenks base is based, guys. So because of this, A tier with the other base transformations. And now next, Fat Gotenks. Also a failure a bit, but he's closer. This is the other extremes of the fusion. They also messed up, but at least in this picture, he has a smile on his face compared to the anorexic Gotenks with no smile on his face. He ends up being not a strong fighter, not a useful fighter. We're gonna put this guy into C tier and put him on a treadmill. Next, we have Kefla. Is it Kefla? Kale and cauliflower. Yes, it's Kefla. And Kefla base, guys. So there's Kefla from the anime and there's Kefla from the manga. And I was kind of pissed. I didn't like kale and I didn't like cauliflower. And I will tell you why. It's because you're going to tell me that these new breed of Saiyans just can transform to Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan by a tingling thing on their back. And then we have the wannabe Broly and Kale, who's supposedly so strong, matches up with Goku Super Saiyan Blue. I wasn't having it, guys. Even Goten and Trunks, who were the youngest Super Saiyans ever had to struggle somewhat to transform. Never mind the future Trunks, who we know that Kid Trunks inherited some of those qualities. They had to struggle a bit for their transformation. And now you tell me they also cheat during the Tournament of Power and they have the Potara fusion. Actually, I don't think it's cheating because the downfall was if they get eliminated, both of them get eliminated. So actually, I'm going to retract that. It's not cheating. But we get the Potara fusion of the gods. We get Kefla. And Kefla is... You're going to tell me that Kefla is as strong as MUI Goku? No, as UI Goku? In the anime, that didn't make no sense for me. I understand the Potara fusion is overpowered, it's permanent, and it is even stronger than the fusion dance. But Kefla base is not supposed to be this strong. Hence why she gets pieced up by Gohan and the manga. But guys, she has some of that Gotenks energy that I like. I love it. I love the arrogance. I love the strength. But she doesn't deserve this amount of power. Because of this, she has to go to B tier. Then we have Kibito Kai. Kibito Kai, he was the result of, as well, the Potara fusion between Supreme Kai and Kibito. And he gave us this goofy looking god. For those who don't know, Supreme Kai is a god. So the fusion of Kibito and Supreme Kai automatically gives you a god. And how did he unfuse? Because a lot of people missed it. It's actually Good Buu absorbed him. And as we know, the absorptions of a fused character because of the insides of Buu allows you to, I don't know, it's the environment of inside Buu, diffuses you, and then he spat them out, and that's why we got Supreme Kai and Kibito back. But Kibito Kai, I mean, he's pretty cool. He must be pretty strong, actually, because if we have a Potara fusion of a god, I think the power within him should be at least equal to, like, not Fused Zamasu, but it should be pretty much up there. This is an underrated character, guys. I will tell you, his strength must be really underrated. He's goofy looking, he's funny and laughing, he has his long hair, but underneath this, it's a god, and which is a powerful god. So, because he's underrated, I'm gonna have to put him B tier. And then we have one of the most interesting characters in all of the Dragon Ball arc. We have Fused Zamasu, and we have, which was a mistake looking back, the fusion of Zamasu and Goku Black, because then he wasn't real, he was only half god now. But the strength within Fused Zamasu, the good looks, the weird looks actually. I thought it was gonna be weird. A green god fused with the Saiyan gave us this. But man, oh man, was he strong. They already were struggling with Goku Black Super Saiyan Rose and struggling with Zamasu. And then came Fused Zamasu. Man, oh man, if there was ever an evil god in the Dragon Ball arc, it would be this one. They made it well. It was actually a masquerading good god who was actually an evil god, saying he wants a utopia that was never going to be achievable. But the aura of him, he had the aura of a god, of an evil god. Even though we don't agree with him, even though he's very, very strong, he had the aura, the eloquence of a god. If you ever imagine an evil god, you would think of Fused Zamasu, and you were not gonna be wrong. So he was also a very interesting character, guys. You know, the plot was very original. He said, look at these evil people. Look at these people fighting. And we try to teach them, and they keep fighting. They keep fighting. And they say, we're trying to make civilization better, but all they do is fight and kill each other. So I'm like, let's restart and have a universe full of gods. A perfect universe. Which, you know, we kind of understand where he comes from, but we don't agree with him. But because of this, Fused Zamasu has to go A tier. And then we have Corrupt Zamasu, who he was struck by lightning and became a corrupted version of himself. And I don't know if it was as strong as him, but he was going a bit cuckoo, this corrupted version of Zamasu. He was becoming corrupted. And I don't know what to say about him because we didn't see much of him. Fused Zamasu was getting pieced up by Vegito Blue. And when I say pieced up, really pieced up, he had no chance. A god being humiliated. So he was corrupt. He had a big ass hand full of muscle. He was struck, but he was dying from the inside. So Fused Corrupt Zamasu has to go C tier. And then we get my favorite fusion character. We get Gotenks Super Saiyan 3, stronger than Goku Super Saiyan 3, even admitted by the one and only Goku, saying, man, oh man, at this age, they are already Super Saiyan 3. Oh, the potential in these kids, the arrogance in these kids, and he had an original moveset. Man, if we just could see more of Gotenks, man, I would be so happy. I would be such a happy camper. Gotenks Super Saiyan 3 has the arrogance, the strength. I love it. He has this, man, he has the strength to back up all of the arrogance because he's Super Saiyan 3 now. Just imagine what he could do if Trunks and Goten just trained a bit more. We would have the strongest character, more than Gogeta, more than the Vegito. Gotenks Super Saiyan 3 is the future S tier. And then we have Gogeta Super Saiyan 4. We have Gogeta Super Saiyan 4 from the GT arc. You know, he defeated Omega Shenron, completely destroyed him, annihilated him. But, Super Saiyan 4 was not canon up until, spoiler alert, Daima. So I don't know if we're gonna see a version of Gogeta Super Saiyan 4 in an original canon show or manga, but for the GT arc, Gogeta Super Saiyan 4 had the moves, he had the looks, he was not as strong as Gogeta Super Saiyan Blue. I would argue that he was actually less strong than even Gogeta Super Saiyan. But he was sick. He had the ultimate Big Bang Kamehameha. He had the super skill set. And he had the arrogance. He has to go into the A tier, guys. He has to. Next, we have the first time we see Gogeta. The first time the Goku and Vegeta do the fusion dance. And this is against Janemba. And oh, when that happened, did the world stop for a second, because we had just the two strongest fighters finally fusing and working together. And this is besides the Potara fusion. And we saw they went straight to Super Saiyan. They didn't even go to base Gogeta. They went straight to Super Saiyan. And then he pieced up Janemba. And we had that super attack. I always forget the name. It's where he has that ball and then he throws it and that ball blows up inside that person. Man, oh man, was he strong. But I wish he could have transformed into a different form and see what he could do. But Gogeta Super Saiyan, not different from other Gogetas. He has to go into the A tier. Same thing for Gotenks Super Saiyan. The potential, the arrogance. He is not up there with Gotenks Super Saiyan 3, because when Gotenks Super Saiyan 3, he becomes serious Gotenks. Gotenks Super Saiyan 1 is the perfect balance between serious and arrogance and strength. Man, oh man, was he strong. I would say he was just as strong as Super Buu, and people will disagree with me. No, Gotenks Super Saiyan 3 was the only one who was strong as Super Buu. Nah, if Gotenks wasn't Super Saiyan 1, wasn't messing on, I think he would be able to beat Super Buu. So because of this, he has to also go into A tier. And then we have Super Saiyan 2, Kefla. Not much different from base Kefla. She was also strong, also very cool, also had the similar trait to Gotenks. Was a character that was very copied, inspired from Gotenks. And it's not a hate. I just don't think they deserve that amount of power. There's a reason that Ultimate Gohan in the manga was piecing them up. But I still can respect the hustle. I can still respect what they wanted to do with Kefla. And I can still respect that they were fighting for their own universes and they were not fighting for themselves. And unlike Gotenks, they didn't mess around. They were just having a good time trying to destroy Goku. And because of this, I'm going to say B tier as well. Actually, they have to go before Fat Gotenks. And if we're going to rank those, let's go like this. Gotenks Super Saiyan, Gogeta Super Saiyan, and then we have Gogeta Super Saiyan 4 behind Fused Zamasu. All right. Next one, we have Vegito Super Saiyan Blue, the strongest character in the universe besides the gods. No one touches Vegito Blue. Don't care about Ultra Ego. I do not care about Beast Gohan. I don't care about Master Ultra Instinct. There's absolutely no one that kisses Vegito's toes. Do you guys know how much of a boost is the Potara earrings? They're earrings of gods. And then on top of this, You add the experience that they got from fighting as Vegito against Buu, and then on top of this, you add the Super Saiyan Blue transformation, the aura of a god. The only thing that goes against Vegito is that he never got the job done. There was always too much of a character flaw within Vegito. He was too strong. He was too arrogant. He was too good. He was too good for his own self. And he fell in love with it because Vegito became his own person. Because the Potara fusion is forever. Even though he didn't get the job done, Vegito Blue has to go to S tier. Right after Gotenks Super Saiyan 3. Vegito Super Saiyan in the same vein. Boy, oh boy, did he do nasty things to Buu. Oh boy, did Buuhan get pieced up by Vegito Super Saiyan Blue. He had nothing for him, even though Buuhan pulled up with the most original moves, went inside of him. He tried to become a gumball. All of these things, Vegito Super Saiyan had the answers to all of them. He didn't mess around. Even Vegito Base was piecing him up. So because of this, he has to go A tier right before Gogeta Base. Then we have Tiencha. Ugly motherfucker, guys. I can't even look at him. What is this fusion? There's nothing to talk about. Tien and Yamcha doing the fusion dance, and we get this. Guys, this is just waste of air. I don't even want to see him. D tier. Next, Vegito Base. Oh boy, all I have to say is all right, because Vegito Base is when we finally saw Potara earrings for the first time, and we saw Goku and Vegeta working together for the first time in history. And boy, were we not disappointed, because Vegito Base did not even flinch against Buuhan. He didn't even need to go Super Saiyan. Vegito Base arguably would destroy any version of Gogeta, probably not Gogeta Super Saiyan Blue, would destroy any version of Zamasu. He doesn't even need to transform. That's how strong Vegito Base is. Because of this, he has to go into S tier. Underrated character. And then we have, I think this is from Dragon Ball Legends. I haven't played the game. This is Whis and Beerus Fused. Guys, what is this? Who comes up with these ideas? Beast, Whis, and Beerus Fused? Come on, guys. Well, I don't want to see this. I don't need to see this. D tier. Come on. D tier. Then we have, I think this is in the movie Goku and his friends return, something like this. We see finally Gotenks and Goten and Trunks fuse into Gotenks. Finally, we see more of Gotenks. I'm all for it. He has to go there. A tier. And then we get to the Buus. Oh, we get to the Buus. This is always an interesting topic for me, because I actually quite enjoy the plot and the story of Majin Buu. He has a unique skill set that we do not see. People say, oh, it's just a poor man version of Cell, absorbing Android 17, absorbing Android 18. Nah, and nah. I don't care what you hear. I love the concepts of Buu. And Buuhan, yes, it's stolen power. Yes, it's mostly not original. Doesn't come from him. The base, the original evil Buu, Kid Buu, is just not the smartest being. And then he inherits intelligence from Gotenks, Piccolo, Gohan, Supreme Kai, Good Buu, all of these people. And we get this amalgam of a fused, absorbed character. And we get Buuhan. Honestly, Buuhan, very, very strong. If anything, Goku should have revived Buu and instead of Frieza for the Tournament of Power. And boy, oh boy, would they have pieced up everyone. Just imagine if Buu absorbed Kefla. Just imagine what Buu could have done. Absorbed Jiren or Top or even one of the Saiyans of the other universes. Imagine. But Buuhan was strong. Man, oh man, were they scared. And man, oh man, did they need Vegito. But when Vegito came, he just pieced up Buuhan, played with him. But Buuhan was just, when he came over, we thought it was the end of the world. It was like, there's no way we can beat this guy. He absorbed the strongest non-fused character and he was already strong. What are we going to do now? And Vegito came. But because of this, he has to go into A tier. Buutenks. Boy, oh boy, when Buutenks came, did he pull up a wild one. He pulled the carpet under Gohan's pants, and Gotenks made a mistake and did not listen. But imagine what could we have if we had Gohan, Ultimate Gohan, and Gotenks Super Saiyan 3 against Buu. Oh man, would have Buu been a fart in the wind. But Buutenks made up his mind. He knew Gohan was coming, and he heard that the boys' fusion was gonna end soon. So he just bought time against Ultimate Gohan, and we got Buutenks, who absolutely destroyed the Ultimate Gohan. It was round 2 of their fight, and he had no chance, guys. He absolutely had no chance. And can you imagine, guys? We actually thought that Gohan might have a chance because he became so strong, but Buutenks shut everything down. He said, enough of this. You have no chance against me. And for those who don't know, he actually fought Goku Super Saiyan 3. And Goku Super Saiyan 3 dodged his attack. And it's finally when we got the very smart version of Buu. When he was finally getting intellect. Because don't forget, this is with Piccolo absorbed as well. So Buutenks' unique skill set, stolen power, has also to go into A tier. And then we get, what is he called? I actually have to look this up. He's called Buff Buu. And Buff Buu he's the original Buu plus the Southern Supreme Kai. And apparently from the manga and the anime, this is his original savage self plus the boost of the absorbed Southern Supreme Kai. And there's not even a tiny bit of good influence from the Grand Supreme Kai he had absorbed, because this one gives him a boost. The fact that he has no good influence from him gives him a boost that he's stronger than base Super Buu or Buuccolo. So when we see that Buff Buu was becoming Kid Buu, and we see that the Supreme Kai said, oh, he's actually becoming his savage self and his original self, he was actually becoming quite strong. Yes, he was not as strong as Buuhan or Buutenks because he lost their power, but he was still a formidable opponent. But, man, he looks like a giant, what's his name? Michelin character, the guy from the tires. So, because of this, he's going to C tier. Then we have Buuccolo. Buuccolo, I think, let me look it up actually. He is only, Buuccolo is unrestricted, he is Super Buu plus unrestrained Supreme Kai plus Piccolo plus Trunks and Goten. Because this is the version when the boys were defused. So it's when he was gonna attack Goku and the boys' fusion run out. So it was just Trunks and Goten. Yes, he was still quite strong. So he still had the intelligence of what's his name, Piccolo, and he had the strength of Trunks and Goten. I think he would be on par with Gohan. Well, I'm not sure if he would be as strong as Gohan, but he had the smarts of Piccolo, which actually would help him in a fight against Gohan. So we didn't get to see much of him, and actually I would be very interested to see how it would go. Goku Super Saiyan 3, Gohan, and Vegeta against him. I think it would be quite an interesting fight, and I think people would be quite surprised of Buuccolo's strength. So actually because of this, because we didn't see much of him, and I would like to see more of him, we have to put him into B tier. Then we have Majin Buu, but is it not to be confused with Good Buu. This is Innocent Buu, who is the Buu that we see hatching from the egg. And this is apparently after he absorbed the Grand Supreme Kai. And even if his power level was supposed to increase, his positive influence because of Good Buu somehow decreased his power because he was willing to follow orders. But sometimes his evil self would mix with his good self, and he would just go haywire and just destroy people for the love. We saw him that sometimes when he would get upset, he would just open his eyes and people were scared. So he was quite strong. I would honestly say that maybe Innocent Buu is as strong as Kid Buu. This is a controversial opinion for some people, but I don't think it's that controversial, guys. But anyways, Innocent Buu is the fusion, the absorption of evil and good Buu. He scared the shit out of Gohan, let me tell you this, and he beat the living F out of Majin Vegeta, and he beat up Gotenks base as well the first time when they fused, and he beat up Goku. I think Goku Super Saiyan 3 would have been able to beat Innocent Buu. So, because he was an interesting character who finally destroyed Barbary, he has to go into B tier. And then we get Super Buu. So Super Buu, he is an interesting mix of characters. He's Innocent Buu. So Innocent Buu was original Buu, plus the Southern Kai, plus the Grand Supreme Kai. But the latter's influence actually made him weaker in his original form. This is why he's not as strong as Super Buu. However, after they split up, Evil Buu won the fight and absorbed Super Buu. So what happened? Oh, absorbed Good Buu. So because they were not a fused, entity. It was actually Evil Buu was Super Buu was Evil Buu absorbed Good Buu. So because of this, mostly Evil Buu had the uptake over Good Buu. So he was more unrestrained and he was more of a savage killer. This is why he was stronger than Kid Buu and Innocent Buu, because Innocent Buu was restrained because of his goodness. However, Super Buu was not restrained, only like, let's say 10%. This is why we see when he wants to fight Hercule, there's a bit of the good Buu that says, I cannot kill Hercule. Part of me is my friend. And he's the one that we actually see the most out of all the Buus. But he's actually was pretty underratedly smart, because we can see that he actually gives us one of the most creepy scenes in all of Dragon Ball, when he says, when this little kid voice goes against Gohan and he raises his power level and he blows himself up. He says, you're missing the point, to Gohan. And he actually finally is able to power himself up, a bit. He actually gets to put a bit of scare into Gohan, saying, hey, looks like you can fire. You can actually raise your power level when you want to, but it still wasn't enough for Ultimate Gohan. But still, Super Buu is the one who kept yelling, produce! Produce! To Piccolo. And he was like, produce what? He was like, produce! He was just waiting for the boys. And he was actually getting pieced up by Gotenks Super Saiyan 3 and by Ultimate Gohan. He looks good, but actually wasn't as strong as he was portrayed. He was strong, but Gotenks should have pieced him up. But he had some interesting moveset, and he was actually the Buu who did the biggest genocide in Dragon Ball Z. In one move, he destroyed the whole planet. Quite an evil guy, let me tell you. He was an interesting character. He was a funny character, but it stops there. So I have to put him at the end of B tier. So guys, this concludes our fusion tier list. Maybe I missed some fused characters, but I tried to take the most entertaining ones and the ones that actually have a plot, that we see some of them. And maybe I missed some, and let me know. But I think this is the only tier list you need for fused characters. When you look at a fused character, you say, should I enjoy base Vegito, or should I enjoy Buuccolo or Corrupt Zamasu? Just come to this and say, what does Bingo Worst think? Actually, just buy a bracelet and say, what does Bingo Worst think? And come to this video as a reference. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, because I will see you next time. Done now. I'm out. Peace.